Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Treemoss here. Thanks for coming back. If this is your first time, this is a creative channel that we decide to kind of embark on a couple different projects. Today we're going to be focusing on some really cool product photography. Recently I got into doing more product photography and gotten to a place where I was comfortable enough to get kind of weird with it and experiment with some new ideas. Product photography is a new passion of mine. I really enjoy it, and there's just some things that you could get out of it that most people probably just see as commercially viable, but there's a lot of expression that you could get in creative photography like this. Now, product photography matters a ton to small businesses and to a lot of the industry that's trying to sell products or e-commerce. The reason why is because if they don't have a good product shot, then they won't be able to really represent what that product could do or the placement that it needs to go. So seeing that hole in the industry of where it's all kind of bland, you know, you got a white background, or a black background, it's in a box that you buy from Amazon for $100 with a LED light. And I mean, that does definitely work and come in handy for some shots, but I took the approach of product photography as a whole being the creative medium that represents the product that you're shooting. So for example, we have the Retroactive pedals validity sensor here, and I am the creative designer of these guitar pedals with my good buddy Trey Bourgeois, based out of Tennessee, and I helped him rebrand his effects, and I really enjoy this spiritual journey that I'm going on through this, because I've always been a huge fan of future past sci-fi, living in that world basically. So yeah, this is what we have here, the validity sensor. We also may look at doing something with the dot chaser. It is very close to Halloween right now, so I think that's the general vibe of what we're gonna go for today. Kind of a spooky version of these photo shoots that I've been doing lately. Yeah, I think we're gonna actually do dot chaser today, just because we got a skull with exposed brains on it, and I think that would be a really cool way to, you know, focus in on
the Halloween aesthetic.
We do have a little lighting rig set up that's very makeshift. It's actually a work light and a little Wi-Fi color light. And we're going to be using the CRT TV as well. This is going to provide our backlight, and in editing, we were able to get a lot of really cool grainy shots. And the only thing we got to really avoid is the scan line. So it's almost like a game in itself. And I'm also going to see what movie is going to fit this specific vibe that we're going for as our background. And like I said, we're going to put that on the CRT TV and really get those really cool grainy results from it. We're going to do some product shots. Let's get into it.
Halloween aesthetic.
So for this shoot, we're going to use my Sony Alpha 6300, and that's my main camera that I'm actually shooting this on now. There are some iPhone shots that I get typically that I can't really pull focus that close on, and for doing something like this, we're gonna definitely have to use both cameras. The main thing here is we've been collecting things either through intention or just through my entire life as things that go well in these product shots. Just naturally, I like these things, so I keep a hold of them. Vintage Sci-Fi has absolutely been one of my favorite things. I just like the general style and lighting of what possibilities we could get out of our product shots with that. So we're gonna build a scene today that's gonna have a lot of vibrant light but give a really dim gritty atmosphere to it. It's mostly going to be utilizing the things that you have around you, and I can't state that strong enough. You don't have to buy a new piece of gear to get something out of it. You want to buy a new piece of gear because it inspires you. All right, so we got our shoot done. Got to get super creative with placement of those trees and the lighting effects off of the arcade sign. So we're gonna jump over to the editing side now, and you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes on how I get some of these shots to look the way they do, and why we specifically chose the CRT to get those really grainy backgrounds. Now, we're not getting anything really specific from the Godzilla footage, but we're more or less going for what the tone and atmosphere of that particular scene was like, and it gives us a more dynamic background to play with than a very static one. So let's jump on in. Okay, so now we are in Pixelmator, basically the Photoshop long lost cousin to Mac. So I'm able to do a lot of these edits in Pixelmator, and I'm a firm believer in not overdoing them. Pixelmator has allowed me to do these edits really quickly. There's not as many bells and whistles like in Photoshop, and that allows a much more streamlined process. The last thing you want is to be slowed down in your creative process. Now obviously, the industry standard programs are great whenever you're comfortable to work in them efficiently and in a space that allows the creativity to flow more easily. The last thing you want is to be blocked by a paywall. Limitations can inspire your imagination. It's much more interesting to see what limitations an artist has put on themselves to get the desired outcome. Doing this leads to innovation, but racks your brain a lot. Just like this dot chaser. So let's get back into our edit. We're just dropping the saturation and the color here. Now all we have to do is get that really grainy feel into the product shot as well. We have to make sure that we do well by Godzilla and get these grains popping off the right way. It looks like an old vintage shot, which is perfect for retroactive. So now we got a nice little look into what some product photography looks like and what goes through my head, at least in the process of getting some of these cool shots. Now, I'm really excited about how these techniques are developing and new ways of being able to basically get some really interesting shots, especially with retroactive. This is what I typically do my routine for the pedals. Retroactive Pedals is going to post these every Friday, so you can always check out that account. I'll link that up in the description below. This is constantly evolving, and I think bringing you guys into the mix is gonna be something really special. And if you want to drop a comment on what you think I should try next, I'm hoping that these are going to be a little bit more easier for me next time. I'm learning as we go, so shooting something and doing a shoot at the same time with the same camera could be quite difficult. I'm all self-taught with this stuff. I've really never learned how to do this properly. So as you saw in the edit, I kind of just go with what I've learned over the years and how to manipulate the things that I want to get out of it. I'm really starting to expand what the meaning of art really could be. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, comment if you got something to let me know. And I really appreciate y'all coming back. Thanks.